Are you ready to go around the world? Sit back, relax, and buckle your seatbelt as we take off for an adventure. It's jet-lag free but filled full of fun and travel insights. The only thing you'll need to pack is a sense of humor. Time for the award-winning travel show, Around the World.
And welcome, Globetrotters and armchair travelers, to another edition of Around the World. I'm Arthur von Wiesenberger, and we are flying through the globe today to some fabulous places, and my co-pilot, I am so thrilled to say, is the legendary, fabulous actor John Fink. Hello, John.
Hello, Arthur. Not to mention a wonderful pilot, just in case the plane gets into trouble.
See, he is the pilot, but I'm a little worried about him being the pilot because I know in a lot of the movies you've been in, you've played, you've been in a lot of movies like Batman and Robin and Flatliners and other things like that, but you've played a doctor a lot, I've noticed.
Well, for some reason, you look at me, they cast me as doctors and lawyers all the time. I should have been a doctor, I should have been a lawyer, but instead I became an actor and only got to play the parts every once in a while. But I do practice medicine as a hobby, so if anybody wants to come to me, I do,
He plays the doctor on TV and on Around the World.
Right.
Now, you were a chief surgeon. You were Dr. Ted on Battleship Galactica.
Well, that was...
Oh, no. And, wait.
That was.
Was it? Oh, no, on Battleship Galactica, you were Dr. Payne. What an awful name for a doctor.
They actually, well, that's another story, but they actually excised that portion out of the Battlestar Galactica when they reintroduced the show. They excised that out because I had to take off, and also because it was a storyline with Jane Seymour, who had a terminal illness and died. But they took that whole storyline out, so you see my credits now. Nobody's seen that.
No, because
we
it's not
get to
there.
talk about it, but nobody's seen it.
You were also a doctor on Flatliners, and
Yes.
I'm not sure about a doctor and flatlining. I don't like those two things going together.
No.
I don't want my doctor to have me
I'll tell you
flatlined.
what was good about that. I worked with Kevin Bacon. You know about the game 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon?
Yeah.
1 degree. I worked with Kevin Bacon. Forget the 6 degrees.
Well, now he's on Around the World, and he's playing a pilot. I think we're going to call him Captain Crash. Would that be an appropriate name?
No.
I guess
No, I'm hoping we stay up.
By the way, I also
Or
want to
give me a
mention
shoot.
we're going to be talking about interesting foods and medicines and things that are good for the body and psyche on today's show. But I can't mention that without mentioning the fact that you wrote a really amazing book called Third Opinion.
I did, yeah. It was one of my other lives. I wrote a book about a comprehensive directory to the alternative therapy centers for the treatment of and prevention of cancer and other diseases. I went around the world. This is back before the internet. Right. And when the world was very divided on alternative information, you had to come to a source like mine to find out about it. But that's back in the 80s. That's a long time ago.
Well, it's still very valuable information.
Well, yeah, it's more available thanks to the internet though, today.
Well, let's see. Who we got on the show today? Let me tell you who our lineup is. We're going to be talking with Rebekha, and we've got Tulsy and Prema Ball, who are with Chagit. That is a company that does these amazing mushrooms. Rebekha has a company called Got Matcha, so it's all about matcha, which is it's a spectacular Japanese green tea that gives you incredible clarity of thought, which I need right now, and a lot of energy, and we'll learn all about that. And then we're also going to be talking with, we're going to take you down to the Borgo Egnazia, and we're going to find out about this amazing resort, which is down near Puglia in Italy. And we're also going to fly in Alitalia, which is a nice experience too. And finally, Cat and Patterson are going to take us on a trip around the world on their bicycles. So we got a lot going on.
Good.
But first, it's time for Travel News. Travel News is brought to you by the internet website, www.atw.tv, the first place to go, even to visit, the last place on earth. And, there's a great new trend that's taking place. I'm kind of fascinated by this. It's touring medical marijuana or just marijuana businesses.
Really?
There's a company.
And tasting?
There's a company called...
Touring and tasting?
Well, yeah. There's a company called West Coast Cannabis Tours, which started last year in October. And they operate out of San Diego. And they take people on tours, sometimes very comprehensive tours, where you can see growing of marijuana plants. They have the largest growers in, I guess, the whole U.S. that they can take you to, 20,000 plants.
Wow.
Wow is right. And they also have an education program. They teach you about cannabis. They're trying to kind of changed the perception of understanding marijuana, because marijuana actually is a slang term, believe it or not. I always thought it was what you call it. Cannabis is the right term. Pot, Mary Jane, weed, wanchit, all those other things. That's all stuff that is the old, street stuff.
Our era.
Yeah, our era, exactly. But sometimes they also list places that are 420 friendly. You ever heard 420?
No.
That apparently was a code that was invented back in the 70s to mention what marijuana was.
Jeez, I must have been in the hospital in a coma then.
I missed that one.
I don't know that.
So who goes on these tours? And this is a bus, it's a luxury bus. I was glad to hear they have a partition between the consumers on the bus and the driver.
Right.
But you can go on this bus and you can smoke on the bus, you can ingest it on the bus. They don't sell it to you. They take you to dispensaries, you can buy it. But it sounds like a high old time. 75% of the people go on this tour are women.
Really?
Isn't that interesting?
Really?
I thought that was kind of curious. And then I asked them, well, what about what happens when you go on this tour? What do you get hungry? I mean, I would imagine if you're ingesting marijuana or cannabis, you're going to get hungry. Oh yeah, people get hungry, and they have snacks and drinks. I said, well, what kind of
munchies?
Well, yeah. What's the most popular snack? Well, we have Famous Amos, and we've got nuts, and we've got chips. But the most popular, Rice Krispies. Rice Krispies, those Rice Krispie Crunches, whatever they are.
I was an Oreo cream wafer guy. but the thing about marijuana that's so interesting is they've got to control the TCP in it, because they've made it so powerful.
That's it.
They've made it so powerful that a lot of people are having addiction problems. So, there's no regulation, at this point.
As far as the strength goes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is something that I think sounds like a fascinating trip. If you want to know more about it, touring starts as reasonable as $69. You can do. Oh, there's a Pablo Picasso. Did you know Pablo Picasso took marijuana, smoked marijuana?
It doesn't surprise me.
Those art. Well, they do an art day. You can
do they?
On a Sunday. You can go and do art.
You smoke and then you do drugs and then you sell them as Picasso. It's a good gig. I think we could get into that.
I think that is a great idea. Anyway, lots of interesting things. Check it out if you have a chance. It's called West Coast Cannabis Tours. What about twins?
Yes, you've alerted me to a festival in Twinsburg, Ohio, and Twinsburg is a town of about 18,000 people. It's midway between Akron and Cleveland. It's 25 miles south of Cleveland. And I think the Chamber of Commerce must have come up with this. It could have been
with a name like Twinsburg.
Right. Well, it could have been Twin Falls, Idaho, or it could have been Twin Bridges, Montana. Somebody else could have jumped on it, but no, Twinsburg, Ohio got on it. And they said, well, we have this great thing. Every year we'll have a festival, and we'll ask twins from all over the world to come. And they started this in 1976, and they have, I think last year they had 2,000 sets of twins show up in this town of 18,000. And so that's got to be a wild kind of a ride, I mean, what if you saw, for instance, you and I were single. We're not, but we were. Let's say we were. Well, I'm taken.
I'd be seeing double.
Yeah, and then you fall in love with one, and then and then how do you? I think twins are fascinating.
I do too.
I mean,
especially because most of them are really close. I mean, they really have like a connection. With
one another. Well, they have those studies where they take twins and triplets, and there's a big movie about triplets that were separated at birth, and then they go back and look at their lives, and they have these amazing parallels, even though they grew up in entirely different circumstances.
Wow.
So it's amazing.
Interesting. Well, it'd be a fun place to go. I think.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Twinsburg, Ohio. If you're a twin,
check it out. Yeah.
Go.
By the way, before we run out of time, I just wanted to mention movie theaters. I went to the movies the other day at the Ontario Mills Mall, biggest mall in Southern California. They have an AMC theater there. And when I was getting my ticket, I went to see Shazam, which, I'm sorry. But anyway, they have a thing called Dine In. And I went, oh, you mean popcorn? Oh, no, we'll bring you a meal to your seat. At this movie theater, you can order like burgers or salads or nachos
it's not
or whatever.
Just jujubes and Mounds bars.
No, they bring you this
Red Hots
gourmet food.
Really, the
and
real
they
deal,
bring it to and they have a little table that comes swinging out from your chair. Your chair now lies back. It's a whole nother world from when we went to the movies in those nice little prison chairs.
I'm a little nervous about that. I don't know if I'd like that or not.
I think they're competing because everybody would rather stay at home and watch watch Around the World on their computer or on TV.
Yeah. Well, the Hollywood Bowl. They did it at the Hollywood Bowl. Somebody came up with that idea. You go to a concert at the Bowl, you have your dinner, and that worked out very well. They've done that for years.
Wow.
So maybe at the movie theater. Who
Maybe
knows?
in theaters. Anyway, that wraps up the Travel News. Travel News is brought to you by the internet website, www.atw.tv, the first place to go, even to visit the last place on Earth. And we're going to go to a very exotic destination coming up next, Alaska, and check out the mushrooms. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Canine of mine, friend for all time. So glad you're my best friend. Through thick and thin, we'll see things through. Canine of mine, so true.
Get the A to Z on adoptable pets at animalzone.org.
The Unity Shop, celebrating 100 years of serving hard-working families on the path to self-sufficiency. Every single year, nearly 12,000 local children visit the school clothing and supply store at the Unity Shop. Then they get to go to school with new clothes, with all the school supplies they need, and most importantly, with dignity. And your support not only makes it possible, it's making our community the model of compassion and support. Find out more at unityshop.org.
And we're back here on Around the World. I'm Arthur von Wiesenberger. John Fink is in the pilot seat, but between us is Rebekha from GotMatcha.com. And Rebekha's brought some goodies with her.
Yep.
I can't wait to find out about what's cooking with you. And we've got some special guests that you brought with you, don't you? I can't believe it, but there's mushrooms in Alaska, and we're going to find out all about this amazing mushroom called the chagit. And the company's called Chagit, and we've got Tulsy and Prema Ball from Chagit. Guys, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
And I don't know where we start, with matcha, or do we go to matcha? I think we start with matcha and make our way towards the mushrooms.
They're going to meet.
They are going to meet, and that's what you're going to tell us about. First of all, for our viewers, tell them what matcha is.
So matcha is in the green tea family, but matcha is very special. It goes through about 5 years of growing in a very special soil. We have our own farmer, so he is devoted to our matcha. And what's interesting is matcha is an alkaline caffeine. So most caffeines like coffee, black tea is acidic. Not everyone does well. I know I can't handle the acidity. Mm-hmm. So you have an alkaline caffeine, and what's great is it contains L-theanine. And that's an amino acid, as a nutritionist, that I've given to people for depression, anxiety, stress. Every mom I work with, you need that theanine in your body, and it passes through the blood-brain barrier. So what it does is where acidic caffeine gets your heart going. You get that heart racing from coffee or soda. Mm-hmm. Matcha actually stimulates your brain. So you get that focus, that clarity, that sharpness. So it has a completely different effect on your body. And the theanine makes the caffeine actually go throughout your whole body for about 3 to 4 hours. So you get this constant endurance and energy. And it's, I call it like a smart superfood. So it adapts to what your body needs, especially after like a month of drinking it. It kind of goes in and assesses the situation, and it helps with energy. I used to use it 22 years ago for digestion when I had gut issues, and it's amazing for digestive.
Out of curiosity, does green tea do any of that stuff that you talked about?
You'd have to drink 40 cups of like steeped green tea, even just to get a little bit of the antioxidants.
Wow.
But you don't get, see what's special is you don't get the theanine.
Yeah.
Like I see people say, oh, we have ceremonial matcha, but it doesn't have the theanine because theanine is present from the shade growing process, and that's the last like 6 to 8 weeks of the growing process. They actually cover a tarp over it and stress out the plant, and the theanine increases. And if you don't have theanine, you're not going to have the experience of matcha.
Okay.
And it has to go through that process. And that makes it ceremonial.
So this is Japanese, right?
Japanese.
But then you also see China has green tea, and you see it sometimes in the market, but
Right.
it's
You
not
only want it from Japan.
the only one from
China,
Japan.
Korea, India. The thing is matcha absorbs everything from the soil. So a lot of soils that have different toxins, lead, you name it, it goes into the matcha. So the only place that I would ever drink matcha from is from Japan, and ours is from Kagoshima. And our farmer is the most renowned farmer in all of Japan and most of Europe. But we have an exclusive relationship with him, so it's pretty special. And it's grown in volcanic soil. So
And if people want to get hold of your product, they can go online,
you
right?
go to gotmatcha.com.
That's easy, isn't it? And you've
Yeah.
got testimonials, and I think you've got a lot of educational pieces.
Well,
on
I've
there,
been,
too.
I've been importing it for 22 years. I was one of the first people to bring it.
Wait, 22
over
years,
here.
when you were in your crib, you were importing it then. Come on, I can't believe that.
This
And-
is what helps me be a mom
Jeez.
and survive.
Well, if you're a good representation of what Got Matcha does.
She's
to you.
actually in her late 50s, but just looks
Yeah,
young
you know.
because she.
We better start eating this right away, huh? I'm trying to
no
dial
kidding.
back a few years. Hey, you also brought some, looks like matcha bars.
Yeah, so the bars are one of probably my second most popular. So we have our black label, which is the most amazing matcha on the planet. And then we take our bars, and these are gluten-free, organic. They are low glycemic, so the sugars are about 7 grams. And they are made with sunflower butter and sacha inchi. I mean, this is a whole product in and of itself, but it is raw.
Right.
And one bar gives you a full serving of matcha, which is about a teaspoon. And what's cool is this is the most improved version of it. We just started adding the chaga mushroom to it.
Wow, all right.
So that's the exciting thing, because for those who are local and have been, we have this at Yoga Soup and all over town. Just yesterday, we are just now launching it with the chaga mushroom, and that actually sweetens it too.
No kidding. Wow. All right, now that gives us a perfect segue
Exactly.
to find out about chaga mushrooms. Gentlemen, you have got something in between you, which is awfully weird looking, I gotta say. There you go. All right, here, it's coming over onto the airplane here. Honestly, if I saw this, I would try and step around it.
I'd run.
I mean,
It's a weapon.
it looks like cooked burnt meat or something, right?
Yeah.
A little bit. But
Yeah,
this
we
is a
get that
mushroom.
quite a bit.
Right?
That is a mushroom.
Okay, so tell me about, first of all, how did you guys even hear about this or find this?
So my name's Tulsy, this is my brother Prema, and we made documentaries for Discovery Channel, History Channel, mainly focusing in the wild places and people trying to stay alive. So we've had a couple of projects that we've done in Alaska, and it afforded us a really good presence there. And as we were continuing to look for new projects, one of the guys that we knew up there was like, well, why don't you look at these gentlemen who are going out into the wilderness. They're fighting against Mother Nature to be able to survive in the wintertime and harvesting this crazy mushroom that grows on one type of tree, and it's worth a bunch of money in Asia. We're like, oh, it makes a perfect TV show. So we started developing it as a show, and in the process of that development, we got a chance to try some tea made from the mushroom that they were hunting, and that's from chaga. And the tea is one of the traditional ways that they make a product from the chaga, with the native Inuit do. So in the process of development, we got a chance to try some of the tea, and it actually had major health benefits and kind of life altering in that way. And so
you threw the Discovery Channel.
we decided to tell the network that we weren't going to
golden.
make a show for them instead, and decided to make a product.
Wow.
So we worked with a doctor. Worked with a doctor from UCLA who brought us out to his lab out in Hawaii, and went out there and developed, based on research that he got from around the world, because no one knew about it in the U.S., but the Russians had found out about it like 50 years ago, and there's knowledge in some other countries, and quite a bit of knowledge and research been done. So he got a hold of that. We figured out the best way to absolutely get everything you can out of this mushroom. We were able to combine a lot of the knowledge that we got from the native Inuit peoples up there. I've had several trips up there and got a chance to talk to them. I've actually talked to one of the last speakers of the Inuit language that's left on the planet.
You can speak that language?
No. She's the only one, like literally, she's the only one left on the planet that speaks it. The Alaskan tribes are actually recording her knowledge right now for posterity so that the language can be continued. She's the very last one who speaks it. But we were able, I sat
Lonely
there-
if that's the only language you speak.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like she looks
Exactly.
like literally, it's like a 700-mile flight into the valley, and there's no like roads, nothing. But it's really, I mean, it's pretty amazing. They have multiple ways that they've used in order to get everything out of the mushroom throughout the years. They've been using it for 7,000 years, and so what we did was we took all of those, we looked at what they were trying to accomplish with each one of their different purposes and designed a process that would accomplish all of that at once.
Wow. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
One simple product.
And that is the
This is
the end
that's what we
result.
make out of it, yeah.
And
What we call the chugga shot.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And chugga shot is basically a 2-ounce drink that we say drink one a day, and it's an absolutely full spectrum, complete extraction out of this mushroom.
Wow.
A whole bunch of that
I drink
goodness
two
in
a
one.
day.
one
You
sitting.
drink two a day.
I do.
Yeah.
I
take
mix
two
it
a
with
day
my
usually
matcha
as well,
every
yeah.
morning and
Yeah.
every afternoon.
And is it like it's like a sweet beverage, or is it?
Yeah, you know, a
should
lot
try
of people say.
On set.
I think we went about it for probably like literally 2 years before I figured out that what it tastes like is a raisin.
Really?
Yes,
It tastes like a
good.
raisin.
It's like caramely and
Yeah,
delicious.
it literally.
Well, I feel a
I mean,
little
that's what
thirsty.
sweetens this.
Should I try it?
You
It's
should
amazing.
absolutely try
It's
it.
All right, I'd love to
amazing.
try it. You gonna
It
try one?
is.
Sure.
Why not?
You have
Is this,
to.
this is
have
low
a party.
glycemic too?
Yeah.
It is.
It is non-glycemic.
It is
Sure.
non-glycemic. That's one of the
Yeah.
main things that we were concentrated on with it, because we
We
didn't want to be.
formulate. We wanted to make sure that the people that could use the product aren't necessarily harmed by it
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
You
Shake
can
it up.
absorb it.
Shake it up.
Give it a
That's
little
also
shake.
why we use as few ingredients as possible. There's only
you
a total
go.
of 4 ingredients
go.
in it.
Thank
Because
you.
we want to keep it fresh and we want to keep it pure.
And before I found their product, I had tried just about every chaga out
Oh,
there.
so-
Nothing, I couldn't digest any of it.
Uh-huh.
But this is like, it's
Really?
a game changer.
Yeah,
boy. It's
amazing.
There are other chugga products out there. People make powders that you.
Well, this is like the good old days, huh? Except it used to be champagne.
I'm in
Yeah.
the way here.
Cheers to everybody out there.
Are you going straight down?
Cheers.
Chug, chug,
So
chug.
we suggest swirling it around. Take about half a minute, swirl around
Isn't
your
that
mouth.
good?
Too
Oh,
late.
it tastes delicious.
Too
Isn't that
late.
amazing?
Too late. It's all down.
It's all gone.
It's all
That's
gone.
all right. That's why we
We
called
got
it
more.
chug it, because you can chug
That's
it.
what I thought you wanted me to
Yeah,
do.
no, absolutely.
Isn't that so good?
It is
You're right.
good.
It tastes like raisin.
Like you can
Actually,
add
it
it
is
to the matcha
Yeah.
that doesn't taste as good.
It tastes like
So
It's caramel,
prunes.
and that's
Prunes.
what
Which
sweetens
is a
that.
good thing too.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is a good thing.
I mean, look, obviously, I think we got lucky with the taste. I mean, you look at this thing, you'd have no
I would
idea.
never imagine
You would
that.
You
never
would
imagine
know.
that it would taste like that.
No.
So,
Probably break your
Yeah.
tooth.
you know, the first time that we did the process and I was the guinea pig that tasted it for the first time, I was like, oh.
Thank
You know,
goodness.
because now it's good. And it's
I was
good, but it
scared.
actually tastes good too.
Well,
So-
because if you make the tea out of it, the tea it's got a similar flavor, but it's a lot more mild. Ours is very concentrated, and it kind of pushes all of those nutrients and beneficial components all into one.
Can you buy a
concentrated drink.
chaga shot online? Is there a way to order this?
Yeah, absolutely. On either on our site, chagit.com, or on Amazon.
yeah.
But you can't go into stores and get it yet.
We're in a few stores around Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Some up here in Santa Barbara.
You'll-
Yoga Soup as well.
Are you?
will. You'll find- you'll find
aiming
us-
to go into places like Whole Foods and that kind of thing, or
Yeah, we're going to be moving that direction into retail later this
I'm in
year.
Whole
But as of
Foods,
right
but-
now, we're in a couple very select locations,
Right.
and we're doing our online. We're expanding the business and its profile to be able to share it with as many people as we are. We're also kind of expanding our capacity to be able to make sure that we can make enough for people.
Right.
And I think what's most exciting for us is it took us 3 years to get through the FDA process for them to be able to recognize what we were doing and approve its safety and all of that. And so, it was definitely kind of a long process, but we were able to really perfect it, and we were able to share it with some people during that time and got some really kind of amazing results. The results that we've gotten with people, especially in endurance sports, have been phenomenal. People doing triathlons, people doing long distance biking. I mean, we're going to be up here in Santa Barbara with Johnny G, who's the
I remember Johnny.
the founder of spinning. So he's doing and he brought out a new bike, the Spirit bike, and he's going to be doing the Ride of Truth here in the hills in Montecito. So we'll be out riding support for that out here on May 19th. And it's really kind of fantastic. I mean, we're in Ventura County, so we're a little bit we're a little down the road.
Okay.
But I mean, this is kind of the greatest place on earth. I mean. I've been able to visit a lot of places, and I love coming back to Southern California more than anything. And this is kind of the place where we all start, and I love being able to share it with everybody around here. So
I'm feeling healthier already.
Feel good?
Should I try one? Can we try your new matcha bar?
One for
Okay.
each.
Oh yeah. Oh,
So and that matcha bar does have the chugga shot in it.
So, so am I going to be having too much chugga going on if I eat this?
no, you will be fine. So
I mean,
It doesn't contain caffeine.
yeah, there's no caffeine in it, so you could you could have 4 or 5 in a day.
Yeah.
And not have any problems.
But the matcha and the chaga complement each other because they're both adaptogens.
Well,
so when they
delicious.
come
Very
together,
powerful
it's
adaptogens.
very powerful.
I'm
It's like the smartest thing you can put in your body.
It is.
Wow.
It'll change you.
Well,
I
both
didn't change.
yeah.
You won't need to sleep as much.
Really?
You can do more shows in a day.
This tastes delicious. I mean,
Good?
I mean, these are just wonderful. I eat these just as a snack.
I know. I think that's the
And
great
they're
thing
from-
about it.
Those
Is
are complete food too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Got all the
complete.
nutrients that you need for your
Really?
body. Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah, it is a full
You got
meal
chlorella
replacement.
algae in there.
Oh, I've
Sake.
always needed my chlorella algae.
Well, how about a little chlorella gives you like 20 salads, so there you go. You're
Really?
covered. You don't need
Yeah.
salad today.
You just ate 5
No
pounds. You ate
vegetables.
5 pounds of lettuce just now.
Good
And 2
boy.
pounds
Are you
of
feeling
kale.
healthy? I love it. You didn't know you were going to come to a health plane here.
Do I look younger?
You do.
You glow.
back in
You have the glow. The matcha
very
chaga
nice.
glow.
That's right.
I didn't know I
And
was
it's
going
good
to
for
come
your skin.
Come get
They have the
healthy
most
here.
amazing face soap. I use it every day with
Is that what you
chaga.
do?
Well,
That's why they glow.
if you look at the outside, this outer shell of the mushroom is its skin, and this is 98% melanin. Melanin is what what our skin uses to heal itself and to protect itself from the sun. So we take the melanin off the outside of the mushroom. We do a very fine grind with that. We do a 1-year aged extraction, and we're getting out all the melanin that we can out of that, and then we make the soaps.
Oh yeah.
So we use that to
Take
make
one
our
out.
soaps.
I love the face soap.
And
It also
and
works.
natural antibacterial properties. It's really a terrific soap. And,
So one of the girls at
Everyone seems
the
to love it.
office uses the soap to wash her hair. She said she's never had a better shampoo
It's crazy.
than the
I know.
soap.
Really?
Heidi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Like literally,
Yes.
do the
I
same
stopped.
now.
I stopped
No, she
using
does.
shampoo. I use the
And look
soap
at how
to
pretty. And it has
Yeah,
like
me
the.
myself every day too.
I scrub it on my face because it kind of has an exfoliant going on in there.
Yeah, well, we leave some of the fine
And it's
grinds
pretty.
inside of there, so that
Actually,
So
natural.
that-
Kind of
Yeah.
manly smelling,
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Smells good.
it's good stuff.
So that's a body bar and that's a face bar.
Yeah,
Wow. I'm really getting
they're
excited
amazing.
about all this product.
Yeah.
Yummy. We need to have this
I know,
on
can you
board
eat
every
it?
flight.
Well,
right?
we are gonna totally keep you guys supplied, so that way you can have it for yourselves and
Yeah.
share it with whoever else needs
Yeah.
it.
Wow. All right. So for all of our viewers and listeners, for matcha, gotmatcha.com. For chagit,
Chagit.com.
Chugit.com.
Chagit, right?
Yeah,
That's
it's a
correct.
chug of mushroom and you drink it, so chug it.
Yep.
Fantastic.
We have
Chug
a
it.
video for chugging.
Okay. We have a video for chagit. Let's take a look at the video.
This is the chugga mushroom. Comes from the coldest climates on Earth where the natives have used it for thousands of years to help them survive the wintertime. It is the most powerful antioxidant ever found in nature. 1 gram is equivalent to 6 pounds of blueberries. Chugga has 215 different compounds, 14 of which are completely unique to this mushroom. It's unlike any other substance known to man. It is the ultimate survivor. Our bodies are under constant assault from the world around us. We need a shield, something to protect us. Chugit is that shield. Potent, simple, and pure. Chugit is crafted from the chugga mushroom and only 3 all-natural ingredients. We've made the chugga shot easy to get and easy to use. It's the easiest way to help improve your health every day. The chugga shot is a daily 2-ounce drink that through our proprietary quadruple extraction process brings the power of the chugga mushroom cold and fresh to you. Change your life, 1 shot at a time. Grab it, chug it, and feel it.
Unbelievable. This stuff is amazing. I'm converted. Thank you so much for introducing us to this great new discovery.
Absolutely.
Great old new discovery.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the great things is that a lot of the ancient medicines that we always kind of used and that we've forgotten the use of now, we're being able to go back to them, look at them, bring modern process to what was originally just a healing plant, and then get absolutely something great out of it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you both for coming in.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got more Around the World. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
The Unity Shop, celebrating 100 years of guiding low-income families to self-sufficiency. In times of disaster, no one responds to families in need like the Unity Shop. Immediate assistance with food and clothing, and long-term assistance providing anything disaster victims need to get back on their feet, all with compassion, with dignity, for as long as you need us. To find out more, log on to unityshop.org.
Every morning you could count on it being there with the rise of the sun. We're proud to say we've been there every day with you. The Santa Barbara News Press plans to continue sharing the news of the day with you all through the year and beyond. It's nice to know there are some things you can still count on. The Santa Barbara News Press, serving Santa Barbara since 1855.
The Colossus of...
And welcome back to Around the World. I'm Arthur von Wiesenberger. John Fink in the pilot's seat today as we fly around the globe.
Co-pilots.
All right, I'll be the pilot, but I'm not sure we'll land. I hope so. We've got some folks joining us now that, well, this plane is an old history because they
It's
get
not
around
a
the
Max
world.
737, is it?
No, it's not a 737, thank goodness. No, they have two wheels. that they travel around the world in. Bicycles.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you heard about a bicycle built for two. Well, these two have bicycles each, but they seem to go everywhere on the globe, twice around the world.
Got to hear about that.
Can you believe that?
Let's hear about
Cat and Pat Patterson are joining us. Hi, you guys. So nice to have you.
Hey,
Nice
Arthur,
to be
thank
back.
you for having us back.
Well, we're thrilled, and I heard that you are going to be doing an event in Santa Barbara about your travels around the world. It's on May the 4th, is that right?
May 4th.
And it's going to be at the Natural History Museum, and you're going to be telling some of your tales about travel.
Tales of the Trail.
And riding bicycles around the globe. You know what? We have a video. Let's get people's appetite whet by showing them just exactly what you're talking about.
Well, this was when we came home, and it was taken down at the border.
Oh.
And it's pretty cool.
All right, well.
We think it is.
We think it is. Let's take a look. We'll see what it is. And maybe you can tell me what it is as we're watching it. And, oh, yes, there you are.
No, this was in Ventura, and it's
Hello, my name's Cat Patterson.
twice around the world.
And, I've got a story to tell you.
Back in 1987, I left reality behind and chose adventure. The result? Bicycle rides that took 7 years of my life. I visited 6 of the 7 continents. I got a bike's eye view of 81 countries and the peoples of the earth. Oh, and along the way I pedaled more than 60,000 miles. All this wasn't without cost, above and beyond the money. My wife, my business, illness, even an armed robbery, just to name a few.
Bicycle.
My first taste of this kind of world travel occurred in 1985 when my wife, at that time, Victoria, and I took a vacation to China. It was a tour, but unlike any of our past trips, we didn't go by bus or boat. This time, we went on bicycles. It was an instant love affair for me. I felt freedom, seeing, feeling, touching, even smelling things that I'd never experienced on typical vacations. In retrospect, I believe the idea was born in 1979 when my 19-year-old son, Ron, died. Oh, it was nothing heroic, nothing traumatic like an accident, but it was swift. An aneurysm, a blown artery, swept him away instantly. Nobody ever said that life would be easy. After the initial grief, I began to ponder my own life. I owned a successful realty firm in California, but I felt that my purpose in life had to be bigger. Bigger than business, bigger than making lots of money. I wanted a dream. I wanted a dream that was fulfilling, but I never dreamt that it would eventually consume my life. In my mind, I became Don Quixote de la Bicicleta.
Wow, my rear end is sore just watching all the way you went. So tell me again, how many miles have you done twice around the world?
Totally. Well, we've been trying to keep up with, and I'm aiming for 80,000 miles for my 80th birthday this year. But at that time it was 18 something, 23, 24, so almost over 40,000 miles in the 2 trips. Continuous too. That's bicycling miles. It's not when we took the airplane.
And then this was the first book that came out after you went around the world the first time, and
that was this time.
Second time.
This was the second time. Which was the first book?
I don't have one.
Well, the from his first trip, there was
there was no
written.
book.
No.
Just stories.
Yeah.
This is second edition, which the edition is a few more pages, bigger pictures, and things that some people had asked us about.
Now, and this book, Cuba, the Forbidden Island, is a fascinating story because you cycled around a place that a lot of people can't even get to.
Right.
We went back last year. We were in Cuba, but we didn't take the bikes. We went on a bus.
With the local people,
Local
which was
bus,
a
local-
great experience.
Yeah.
Wow.
And saw all the changes that have been made. We were there in 2005, and then we went back last year.
Big changes?
Big
Huge.
Because I was there in '99.
Huge. Okay.
Yeah.
Were you allowed to bike without being accompanied?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
No
that was in
problem.
'05, and yes, it was not a problem. The problem was mostly with our government, and it looks like that's shifting a little bit right now, too.
Yeah.
Because of Venezuela, I suppose. But they're going to crack down some more. But right now, you can actually fly out of LAX to Havana without any problem. And you don't have to get a visa. They have a travel permit that's good for 30 days. You get it right at the airport. I think, was it $20?
$80.
$80. What's dollars among friends, you know?
Right.
But yeah, it was really a great trip.
Now, bicycles, they've got to be an important part of this whole experience. Do you have a specific bicycle that you like, and have you tooled with it? Are you like a mechanic?
I'm the worst mechanic ever, and I hate flat tires, so that explains that.
So
the bikes that we rode around the world are called Land Riders, and we actually saw them when we were up in the middle of the night on an infomercial.
Okay.
And it was a bike that shifted automatically.
I like that.
So that intrigued us. So we contacted the owner, and we, figured out would they make it all these miles, and yes, it did. And we
How
had
many
a nice
tire changes did you have to do?
Well, we had a lot of spoke changes, a lot of, not so many tires itself. We had a lot of tubes we had to buy, and different parts that broke. But we had a nice partnership where they would just FedEx the parts to
I was
us.
going to say, that's kind of a great commercial for the bike.
Yeah.
And eventually we were on it.
Yeah.
So friends of
imagine.
ours from Santa Barbara would send us an email. Oh my God, I woke up at 3 this morning and there was Pat and Cat on TV
On the
here in Santa
infomercial.
Barbara, pedaling a bicycle.
So it's a pretty high-end bike.
No, it's $500.
$500.
That's
whoa.
And that's
cheap for a bike.
That's
Cheap.
the upgrade. They had a it was $5.99, but $3.99.
Is it a thin tire or a wide tire?
No, it's like a
Middle.
mountain bike.
Mountain bike tire.
Like a
But
mountain
not
I imagine
fat.
some of those roads you're on, those got to be third world roads.
Yes,
no?
we did. Some dirt roads, and one of the big trips here in Africa it's called 5 Days in the Jungle, and we were just on jungle track and dirt road all the way, and finding our way and figuring out places to sleep, and it was pretty cool.
Did you sleep under the stars a lot, or were
Sleep
you?
under the stars,
Yep.
slept in prayer rooms when we were on the Sahara Desert, gas stations, wherever we could find.
So you didn't always know where you were going. It was
We
an
never knew
adventure.
where we were
You
gonna-
never knew where you were going.
Never knew where we were going to end up.
You're real adventurers.
Yeah.
Well,
That's admirable, isn't it?
This is great.
Well,
I don't know. I consider myself kind of foolish, and I maybe even more so Catherine, because she signed on to the deal.
Sounds
loved it.
Sounds like
I
a lot
love
of fun.
it. Yeah.
And also, I mean, just sleeping out is tough at a certain age. I mean,
It's tough.
I remember when it was okay when I was a kid, but
Yeah.
later on, it's like I like soft beds, and if
Yeah,
you're sleeping on the ground,
we've thrown the tent
People-
out
yeah.
and the sleeping
no
bag.
more tenting, huh?
No.
People
no,
say,
that's out.
do you tent camp? And I say, we did, but now I can get down on the ground okay. It's getting back up that's tough. That's the hard part.
Yeah. Wow. And do you ever splurge and just stay in some incredible luxury resort or something?
Absolutely.
Our
So
biggie,
you spoiled yourself along the way.
Oh yeah.
Our
It was
biggie-
mostly hotels. To
our
be
biggest
honest
in
with you.
Peru was, what was it called? It was at Machu Picchu.
Oh, the one. Have you been to Machu Picchu?
Not yet, no.
Oh.
Friend said you must stay there. Well, it was like $5.90 or something just for the night, but it included breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And you're right there at the gate.
Yeah.
And so we splurged, and
And
it was worth it.
It was a
Come a
luxury
long way since I was there in '63.
Oh, did you?
Oh,
We
my.
flew over in a plane from Lima to Cusco, and they didn't even have a pressurized cabin. They had a rubber hose that came down. If you didn't feel a little woozy, you'd breathe out of the hose.
Oh my.
That's when I went to Machu Picchu.
Wow.
Wow.
Not too many fancy hotels then.
Now, not even fancy hotels, but hotels mostly in altitude down there have doctors on call, oxygen. It's all taken care of because they want to make sure everybody gets there, is safe, and gets home.
Is it the altitude is so high? Is it what? How high is it?
Well, Cusco's at almost 9,000.
Wow, that's high.
We were in
we were in
La
La Paz.
Paz. Coming into La Paz, you're crossing over the plains at about 15,000, and then you drop down to 12 or 12.5. I had an issue there. I met a doctor there. I had an EKG right in the room.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
But we also went up to over 15,000 when we went up Kilimanjaro. So
Walking.
we
Oh,
did
not
that.
pushing the bikes.
No. We did the walk. We didn't
We're
make
crazy.
it to the top.
Arthur,
We
we're
made
crazy, but not that crazy.
That is amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, now it makes me kind of, and you're doing some more, right?
You're going to
go
do
on the
this
road
now,
again?
Arthur? You're inspired?
What's next on the horizon?
Well, we don't have any big trips planned. We're taking our bikes and it's
Down to Ventura?
Yeah, we're going to Ventura. We're going actually to Texas and Louisiana.
On your bike?
We're not going to cycle there. We're going to take them with us.
I have some
cycle
plans.
touring,
Like when we went to Cuba, we came back, we cycled the
Florida Keys
and took 4 days to do it. A nice trip for us. We only go 25, 30 miles a day now. It used to be 50, 60, 70, unlimited, well, sort of. But
it does keep you young, doesn't it?
Well, it helps.
Like that.
There are some good,
it's a great thing
good articles about that. Yeah.
I'm on my life cycle every day.
Oh, good.
That's about as far as
Perfect.
I travel.
That's great.
Well, appreciate you coming in today. Thank you for sharing this great inspiration. Because I'm inspired. Are you inspired?
Yeah.
Okay. I got a bike waiting out back.
I'm going over to the Y and I'm going to sit down and look at CNN and just pedal on the
Hey,
because it's got a big wide seat. I'm afraid of getting on those little seats.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have tiny seats, but we had
reasonable seats, right?
Yeah.
Great. If people want to know more about you, do you have a website?
Oh, yes.
And what is that website?
worldriders2.com.
The number 2. Worldriders2.com. Fantastic.
That's it.
All right. Thank you all.
And if they want to find out anything more about the event on May 4th, just go to cyclemania.org.
Great. All right.
Or if they want to join us on Facebook, it's Cat and Pat Patterson. All
one word.
On Facebook. So
Perfect.
But we'll see you there and you'll see us there.
That's great. All righty. We're going to take a break. When we come back, it's off to Italia. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Canaan of mine, friend for all time. So glad you're my best friend. Through thick and thin, we'll see things through. Canaan of mine, so true.
Get the A to Z on adoptable pets at animalzone.org.
Sometimes people fall on hard times. There are lots of families in our community that can't afford to feed their families. That means kids go to school hungry, and their parents don't even know where the next meal will come from. The Unity Shop treats these families with respect, allowing them to shop in the free food store for stuff their families like and use.
Right now, we are desperately in need of funds to buy turkey and chicken for families who will go without this holiday season. If you can help, please go to unityshop.org.
Bonjour Alex.
Bonjour Renaud.
Happiness? It's great food prepared the French way.
Chocolate eclair.
What makes you happy?
A touch of Paris.
Without the trip to France. Handcrafted daily in our bakeries especially for you. Indulge yourself.
Bon appétit.
Please visit Renaud's in Gelston, Santa Barbara, Long Beach, and La Cañada, Flint Ridge.
And welcome back to Around the World. You know, that has been so exciting. I can't imagine doing anything else, but we're going to go to Italy together now. Are you ready for that?
Right.
Because we were in Italy together.
In this plane that we're in?
Well, it wasn't quite this plane. I was on an Alitalia plane.
Oh.
But I don't know how you got there. You probably got on a private plane.
I
have friends in high places.
Took a slow boat.
Did you? Okay. But we went to the boot of Italy, to Puglia, which is a part of Italy that not a lot of people, they know Tuscany and Rome and Naples and Positano and the Amalfi Coast, and of course Capri and Milano and all that. But you don't hear a lot of people going to Puglia.
No.
And Puglia has a couple things going for it that are amazing. One is it's very sunny. You're right down there in the boot of Italy. You're very close to Africa. You can smell Africa. It's just across the way. And it also has a lot of influence from Africa. One of the things it has that people don't realize, it has the original grapes that apparently the first grapes are ever grown in Europe are from the Puglia.
I didn't know that.
And they're kind of like a Zinfandel grape, but different and delicious if you like wine. They make a red wine out of it. It's called Primitivo. I think I'm going to have some of that tonight. Anyway, so what we're going to do, we're going to take a little trip to Puglia, show you a video when John and I were both down there for a special event, and then we'll tell you a little bit about it behind the scenes. So let's roll the video.
Around the World goes to Bari, Italy. Bari is the arid, sun-baked heel of Italy and the gateway to the Puglia region. From Los Angeles, Alitalia has non-stop flights to Rome. Since Etihad Airways has taken a major stake in Alitalia, there's been impressive improvements to the in-flight service and amenities. The Alitalia 777 business class is called Magnifico. The business class seat configuration gives exceptional space and privacy. The ottoman makes it especially comfortable to stretch out, even when the seat is not fully reclined. In-flight food was remarkable, including a pasta with tomato and basil sauce topped with grated parmesan, chicken supreme with filled mushrooms that went well with a Montefalco wine, a selection of Italian cheeses and fresh fruit and crudités, and just enough room left over to have a rich layered chocolate cake. By the way, for a snack later, they served some smoked meat, provolone cheese, and wild chicory quiche. The flight from Los Angeles to Rome was about 12 hours, and with a full belly, a few hours sleep, and 4 great movies later, we landed at Leonardo da Vinci Fiumicino Airport. The airport's a good place to connect through, as there are some excellent restaurants, as well as some delicious gelato, such as the gelato at Venci from Florence has been making sweet indulgences since 1878. The connection from Rome to Bari is on an Alitalia jet that takes about an hour to the southern airport. Bari has a historic old town, Bari Vecchia, with piazzas and hip restaurants and bars, but I opted for an airport hotel since I had an early morning drive planned to Fasano. Through TripAdvisor, I found the Hotel Parco di Principa, a modern convention-style hotel only a mile from the airport. The rooms were comfortable, modern, and quiet, and the service was especially friendly. And don't miss the Bari local specialty focaccia. An hour's drive from Bari is the 5-star luxury resort Borgo Egnazia. Created by the Melpignano family in 2010, its striking architecture is built entirely of tuffo, cut by the hands of tuffo masters. Tuffo is a type of blindingly white rock which gives an ancient feeling to the entire village. A member of leading hotels of the world, it is the pinnacle of Apulian luxury. The concept is to combine Puglia with refined luxury and cultural richness.
Borgo Egnazia is made up of 3 distinctive parts. There's the main hotel, the Borgo, which is like a village, and then the private villas.
There are 3 outdoor swimming pools, one specifically for children, as well as a spa and an indoor swimming pool. The Borgo, which is designed with the inspiration of a traditional Apulian village, features small streets and secret corners and a main piazza. The rooms ooze with a sophisticated and cool style. There are unusual touches such as bottles of water, teapots dangling from ceilings, and baskets of walnuts. How Italian. The bathrooms are very generous in size with a large tub, extra large shower for 2 with shower heads and separate controls, and a sectioned off toilet and bidet, all supplied with thick white towels and intimate, romantic, soft lighting. Technology is alive and well with an internet-savvy television, free Wi-Fi, and plenty of closet space made for extra long stays. The countryside is rich in ancient history. Near the hotel are groves of ancient olive trees, some dating back thousands of years. Adjacent to the hotel is the San Domingo Golf Course, an 18-hole championship course along the Adriatic Sea. The Borgo has 2 beach clubs. The Cala Mascola is a 5-minute ride in a golf cart from the hotel, with cabanas, water sports center, and a restaurant that serves good grilled local fish, refreshing cocktails, and well-iced wines. The perfect formula for a great afternoon. Eating al fresco with regional pastas like a spicy pomodoro, a crisp, fresh salad with cherry tomatoes, and of course the delicious homemade chocolate and pistachio gelatos. Well, this may just necessitate a longer bike ride back to the Borgo.
It was here in 2012 that Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel got married. They took over the entire resort. Now, these stones are from the area, And they used all these local stones in order to create this incredible resort at a cost of close to $200 million.
This is where we are, the Borgo Egnazia.
It's not Bongo, it's Borgo.
Excuse me, the Borgo Egnazia. But it's been a very, very nice trip. We've had a lovely trip here.
This is a really very beautiful place. I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of. It's been a while since I was in Morocco, down in the south of Portugal and Spain, but it's got a little of the Moorish influence. The climate is like Santa Barbara, but even better because it's warmer. It's warmer in the day and it's warmer in the night, and it's a very sexy kind of environment. I noticed the tremendous architecture. It feeds your soul. But I noticed one thing that was missing that we have in Santa Barbara, and that was birds. I only saw one bird. Perhaps it's because it's a little hot. I can't account for it. I hadn't, when I first got here, even seen lizards. I was a little concerned about that, but then they started appearing. So I think that the management must have spoken to them about my concerns.
It's a fantastic place. It's like when you walk in, you go, oh my goodness, what an incredible place. I mean, and I keep saying, this is absolutely nothing like Manchester.
An exceptional buffet breakfast is included with the rooms. Depending upon the season, expect a myriad of fresh fruits from melons to figs, homemade breads, croissants and yogurts, as well as freshly made mozzarella with cherry tomatoes. Topped with some local virgin olive oil. Well, what a way to start the day. Borgo Egnazia is a perfect place to live in the moment, to truly relax, and to savor the very best of Italian hospitality and style.
All right, I'm ready to go back. Are you ready to go back?
Sure, why not?
It was nice, wasn't it?
It was beautiful.
I mean, it's warm, it's balmy.
Yeah, it was all that.
Very luxurious. It was kind of a Disneylandish feel to it a bit because it was all new, but it was made to look old.
That's right. You know, and if you want the authentic stuff, then you might as well just go, to one of the villages and, and travel elsewhere and see stuff. But for a hotel, creating the Borgo and, the little village circle square.
And
wonderful for the event we were at.
Yeah, it was a beautiful place.
It was beautiful. Yeah.
And it's a great area. I mean, there's a lot to see. I think I'd like to go back to Puglia, and just like you would do, I'd get a car or something, and I would maybe just go see where life took me.
Okay, would you take me?
Okay.
Great.
All right, we know where we're going.
You heard that.
Okay, gun up the plane. We're going to take off. Hey, I can't believe it. We actually have to cool our jets.
Yeah.
All that. I mean, we've had such a great trip today. We've gone bicycling. We've had matcha. We've had chagits, and now I'm feeling like I got a little Italian in me.
And the plane ran out of fuel.
We're out of fuel.
So we have to put down.
If you saw the price of fuel, jet fuel is really expensive today. So we're going to just have to settle down here on the runway and not go anywhere.
That's right.
But fantasize about it, which is what all around the world is all about. By the way, we want to thank you for fantasizing along with us. And remember, you can always join us on Around the World on TVSB, that's Channel 17 in Santa Barbara, also on ATW.TV, which has shows, and on YouTube, on the Nipper VW YouTube channel.
Wow.
If you want to check it out.
Have to tune in.
Yeah, hopefully it'll become your new favorite place to go.
Maybe.
On YouTube.
Maybe, you never know.
I want to thank all of our folks here at TVSB who made this possible. Our director, Michael Nicholson, who's a hero and a star, and his assistant, Erica, today, who did a wonderful job of making sure all the right things got on the air. Also, Eric Davis, who is our man here at TVSB, executive director, and all the great folks who work here. So hopefully we'll see you next time on Around the World. In the meantime, we wish you happy trails.
Thank you for traveling with us today on Around the World. We hope you'll join us for another adventure next week. In the meantime, all of us at Around the World wish you happy trails.